It is BBC Radio Devon, 7:21. Of course, you can catch up with anything you hear or want to hear on BBC Radio Devon with the Sounds app as well. Are you a parent or carer who's currently working from home? Is it all going okay, or do you get on each other's nerves sometimes? Maybe you're falling behind with work and failing to complete all the school assignments. Help is available. Rachel Vack started her career as a primary school teacher and founded Educating Matters, which helps staff at some of the biggest companies in the country with their work-life balance. She's got 4 children as well. Morning, Rachel.
Good morning.
I know we're going to introduce somebody else into the conversation that you know as well in a moment, but 4 children and you founded Educating Matters. You're obviously skilled at a work-life balance.
Well, I try to be. Not easy at the moment running your own business and being very much in demand to support other people. But yes, doing my best. And that's the whole thing. I'm drawing on my very personal experience. I'm not just saying in theory, but you know, sharing honestly when things go wrong as well with the parents I support.
You immediately come across, Rachel, as a bubbly, effervescent, positive type of person. I can sense that already from you.
Oh,
How do you You're welcome. How do you transfer that to people that you meet and reassure them?
Well, that's what a lot of it is about. I mean, it's normalizing some of those really common challenges that we're all facing. And what I love about my work, I mean, I've been doing this nearly 20 years since my first child was born, and I can speak in a company where you've got people at all different levels of the business with all different experiences, and it's incredible to have people together from, you know, the most senior person in the building to someone who's just started their role, and they all face the same common challenges as parents. So it's an incredible leveler, and it's creating that space where they can really be open in a way that maybe they don't even do with their friends about those common challenges they're facing as parents, especially right now.
This is interesting what you're saying. So you're saying the people at the top of business, the high-ranking people, you help them as well, so they're not afraid to say, do you know what, I could learn something here.
Yeah, and I haven't got a magic wand, and a lot of the advice I share is very practical. They may have even heard it before, but it's creating that space to just consciously think about, hang on a minute, how can I manage this situation? Let's just get practical. Let's problem solve. I mean, when people walk away from, I speak on so many different topics, from, you know, educating to raising children. And the main thing is saying to parents, you are the expert on your child. Don't worry about what other people are doing, but helping them to feel positive and empowered. And yeah, I can do this parenting thing. It is probably the hardest job in the world with no training, but a few practical tools will make a difference.
What's
and
the
it's
age
one
range?
step at a time.
Yeah, what's the age range of your children?
They are 19, 17, 14 and 10. And then I taught many, many kids before that as well. And that's how it started, because so many parents, I taught all these kids and they're like, how come my children are so good at school? Well, that's a question parents are asking now, but that's because you're a teacher, not their parent. But I started sharing some of my strategies in the classroom with the parents. And I realised giving parents the tools would just help schools so much as well.
Last week on the show, Mark Ormrod, I don't know if you know about Mark, he's a triple amputee, former Royal Marine. He won gold at the Invictus Games. He's now a motivational speaker. That guy is my hero. He's brilliant, Mark, and he was on the show last week talking about homeschooling. And he said he nearly lost it. He said it's the toughest thing. This guy had lost both legs and an arm in an explosion in Afghanistan. Yet he says homeschooling is the toughest thing he's ever done.
God, it's crazy. I mean, the thing is that we're so emotionally connected to our kids, and they can push our buttons in a way that no one else in the world can, because we're desperate to do our best, but they're so at the moment. Yeah. And they they're not always going to do what you want them to do.
Should we talk to someone that you know? Because I know yesterday, I don't know if you were expecting this, yesterday you did sessions in Plymouth with employees and clients at the law firm, Womble Dickinson. And from Womble Dickinson, we can say good morning to Paul Harvey. Hi, Paul.
Good morning, Gordon. How are you?
Very well, thanks. You can say hi to Rachel again.
Hi, Rachel.
Hello. Hi, Paul. Hello.
So I want you to embarrass Rachel now, Paul, and tell us how this has helped you and your colleagues.
Oh, Rachel ran 2 sessions for us yesterday, and they were excellent. She ran one for our own people, and we also ran one for our clients, because as you've just talked there about Mark Ormerod, everyone is finding this difficult. Everyone is finding it challenging. And the sessions that Rachel ran, they were full of very practical, very pragmatic hints and tips. There was a super level of interaction. So on both of the sessions, we had people messaging each other, offering support, making comments, downloading ideas, sharing experiences. And a really important element of it wasn't just people who were homeschooling. It was also their colleagues. So we had our people come on to those sessions wanting to understand more about what their colleagues are going through and how we can flex our own sort of working patterns to accommodate them.
I'm going to ask you a really awkward question, Paul. I'm sorry in advance. But this is real life, and this is why I want to ask this question. Do people, not necessarily, I'm not asking specifics at your workplace, okay? Do you think in the workplace generally, those without children don't understand the pressures of those with children and the juggling that has to be done?
I think it's getting a lot better, Gordon, and I think COVID has actually brought people closer together, and I certainly have a much better understanding of the way in which my colleagues work and some of the pressures they have at home. An example of what we're doing at Womble Dickinson is we've introduced a sort of best efforts, flexible working so that people understand that they don't have to be present all the time. They can start earlier, they can work in the evening, they can compress their hours. We've actually offered the use of the firm's printing facilities. So
Brilliant.
If our staff want to sort of print work sheets or anything that's sent through from the school. We've also introduced a sort of a policy of not running back-to-back meetings so that people have a break between meetings. Where
That's interesting. You want to know how many meetings we
Everyone
have
needs
here.
that.
I'll tell you, Rachel.
Parents.
I tell you what, Rachel. I was thinking you'd be great at our morning muddle. Sorry, it's called a huddle. The boss doesn't know we call it a muddle. You wouldn't believe how many meetings we have. And do you know what, Rachel? You would be fantastic at one of our morning huddles.
Sort them all out. That's the thing. So many of the strategies are common sense communication skills. So, the same way that you work to get the best out of your children, you do the same with your work colleagues, with your partner, with your friends. It's not that different, actually, the approach.
You've got to go back on the Sounds app and listen to this piece and get quotes from Paul Harvey so that you can lift them and put them on your website to say, this is what Womble Dickinson say about us. That's what you've got to do, Rachel.
Well, I'm just doing my best to make a difference to family life as much as possible because, always, but especially now, it's so tricky for people.
And what would your final word be, Paul, if, say, a captain of industry was listening to you right now and think, I haven't got time for all that nonsense, I've got work to do?
It's not nonsense. You need to don't beat yourself up. You can only do as much as you can. You can only do what's right for your family and for your children. And actually, something that Rachel said in the session yesterday was seize the positive. So it's a chance to enhance your kids with, lots of other aspects of personal development. So teach them some life skills, teach them how to go shopping, teach them how to order a utility bill, teach them how to make dinner, install some values in them. Take the chance to actually instill a little bit of emotional intelligence or resilience in your kids. So it's not just about the sort of the pure academics. It's about taking all those opportunities and taking what could be a negative and turning it into a positive.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant roundup, Paul. Thank you. And thanks
Yeah,
for
Paul
your
was
insight.
listening then. He
What's
was
that,
really
Rachel?
listening. I said Paul was really listening.
He was.
You
He
can come
was.
and
He
do
was
some
taking
talks with
notes.
us.
Paul, lovely to hear you. Have a great day at Womble Dickinson today. Rachel, what can I say? I'm feeling rejuvenated just listening to you. It's coming through the radio. It's brilliant what you do.
Thank you. That's great. It is that, just literally focusing on those small, it sounds so airy-fairy, but just thinking, hang on, what's
No.
going right rather than what's going
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. If people want to find you, educating matters. That's what we should look for. And you take care and have a great inspired day yourself, won't you?
Thank you. Take care.
You're very
Thanks.
welcome. Bye-bye for
Thank
now.
you, Gordon.
Rachel Vex and
Bye.
you, Paul Harvey. Thank you both. I do. I feel energized after that.